Hey Jen, how are you doing?
Doing very well. Thanks so
Nice
much
to
for
hear.
joining me. Don't forget to rock.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for having us on the show, let's say.
Yeah,
It's great to
thank-
talk to you. How are you?
yeah, how's everything in Belgium?
Well, pretty frosty outside, but I think it's the same thing over there in Canada. So yeah, it's winter. What can I say?
Exactly. Yeah, so you guys are in Ghent? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, it's Ghent. I live about 15 minutes outside of Ghent, which is one of the major cities in Belgium. But compared to US and Canada measures,
Yeah, it's a
it's
lot
pretty small
smaller.
town. It's like
Yeah.
250,000 people, so that's pretty small, but it's okay. It's cool to live here. It's really cool.
Yeah, I've only been to Bruxelles, the French part of
Yeah,
Belgium.
Brussels. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but that was like, gosh, like 10 years ago. So it's been a long time since I've been over to Europe. But
So you're actually from the French-speaking part of Canada, or
oh, I'm actually
just
in
the
Boston.
English-speaking part? Okay.
I'm
Oh,
in
you're in Boston.
Yeah, I'm in Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Have you guys performed over here in the US before?
Thorium hasn't performed in the US before, but I've been around for quite a few years. I had the pleasure to come over to the United States and before on several occasions with other bands. So yeah, it's great people. It's a great North America in its entirety is a great continent. I mean, uh, so much different than Europe, which you refer to as the old continent.
Oh yeah.
But
The
yeah,
old
very
world.
nice people. The old world, yeah, exactly. We're old people.
No, how would you say it's different?
So
Do you think just the
yeah,
energy?
I've been. I think very much because bands like us don't get often the question or the opportunity to come over to the States or to Canada and perform. While on the other hand, the fans don't get too many chances to see the bands they really like
Mm,
to see. So there's a lot of energy involved. There's it's like the first time for everyone. All of a sudden you get to this point and it's like the first time you fall in love, first time you pick up a guitar, first time you listen to music, to certain things. So it's really new all the time. So that explains a lot of the energy from the crowd in the US and Canada for sure. I mean, it's just everything's so brand new. It's like everyone's every week a virgin again, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. While for us in Europe, uh, like I've had periods where we could go to concerts like 5 times a week or so. So I'm not saying you take for granted. You really take for granted what you have. So
Exactly.
yeah, it's totally different.
Yeah, and so I know you were in Ostrogoth with Stripe and Tom. How has it been creating new music with them in the new band Thorium?
Well, yeah, Stripe, me, have been in Ostrogoth for quite a few years. I've been in Ostrogoth since 2010, just till 2018, something like that. And Tom joined us in 2015, I think. But I've known Stripe for we've been in bands together for like decades
Hmm.
since dark ages, so to speak.
That long.
And yeah, that long. And I mean, um, I've known Tom also for like 50 years. So we got along all the time. We know we've been working together on. What happened is that after Last Tribe Standing, last Ostrogoth album, some of us really wanted to go forward and create a new album because, the time was right. Settings were right. I mean, everything was right. Uh, but all of a sudden, things got, a bit stuck, and because of, all kinds of things. But Tom and I, we really had the drive going. We were we had some creative highlights, so to speak, and we were very convinced that the things we were writing, it would have been a bummer not have released those songs. You know what I mean? So that was the start of Thorium back in 2017, approximately. So from there on, we started. So yeah, that's pretty much how it all started.
That's awesome. And yeah, the latest single, Where Do We Go? I just love the lyrics. It has so many great lines in it, such as, how do I know when
Thank you.
lost is a gain? Like, that line really resonates with me
Yeah.
because I think no matter your age
It's
or,
Tom. Yeah, I mean, Tom. He is really the genuine lyricist in the band. He can create not only great melodies and great songs, but also he loves to read and write in English, and he's a poet. He creates art uh, by writing not just music but also lyrics. I think he would be a great poet as well.
I would
So maybe
agree,
that's
yeah.
an idea for later on.
Yeah, just reading the lyrics, it seems like a poem.
Yeah. I'll let him know. He'll be.
And I also love the music video. I like that it starts with the little girl holding the compass, and then at the end you see the three generations of women walking together. That's a great storyline.
Exactly. Well, it's the thing is, you can look at it, in two perspectives actually. Either way, you think of it as, it's just, a lifeline of one person. So from young child to, young woman to older woman, and then what happens when we're gone. Or you could also see it as three different persons, walking the same path in different ages. So for me, the cool thing is that everybody can have its own opinion on what it's about, where does it take you, what happens if you do certain things or not. I mean, at any do that or that or that in order to create or to avoid certain things. It's just, live your life, but be aware that what you do or how you do it. I mean, everything's possible, but you never know what to expect or what will happen. So that's the way how we love to write lyrics and music. I mean, there's so much in it, but for every person individual, it's going to be something totally different they recognize or not. So that's basically the goal we're trying to set here.
No, that's a good goal. Yeah, because I think this song, no matter the age or where the person is from, they can definitely relate to those lyrics. Because no one knows where, life is going to take them. You just gotta live life.
That's the general idea. True, true. The little girl, by the way, is my daughter. So that's her
Ah,
first appearance as an actress, let's say.
I was wondering about that because when I saw her, I'm like, wow, she looks, a lot like Dario. So, ah, she did a great job.
Well, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty convinced I don't have to take a test to find out she's really my girl, though. So no, I'm really happy having her on it, and she was thrilled to do it. So yeah, why not? I'm very proud father.
That's great. Do you think she wants to continue being in your music videos?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't think we're. Yeah, no, I don't think we're gonna do like 100 more videos, but yeah, why not? Maybe in a couple of years, when we have a storyline that suits
Right.
a young woman by then, or another young girl, or whatever happens. Yeah, why not? I mean, she loves it. We loved it. The director loved it. So yeah,
Nice.
and we didn't have to pay her. We didn't have to pay her. Just
Oh,
some ice
that's
cream,
that's a
and that did
plus.
well.
Just pay her in candy.
Well, I'm an '80s child, a genuine '80s child, and I kind of got thrown in it because when I was a young guy back in the '80s, my dad stepped into the house and he had this two records for me, and those were the first records I got, and one of them was actually I see it right behind you.
Oh, is it Queen?
It's called "The Miracle" by Queen.
Ah, yes. That's a good one.
That was actually one of the first records I got as a child. So that blew me away. And it's like, whoa. And I heard I Wanted All and Breakthrough. And it was like, damn, I want to be a guitar player. Because my mother was a musician. She sang.
Ah,
And they wanted me to, play piano and stuff like that. Or I didn't want to do that. So back at the time, I thought, I want to be a drummer or something, but they didn't want me to drum because
too noisy?
they want to have that in house.
Yeah, most parents don't enjoy the loud
I
banging.
was in a band. They do not. They do not. And so then things came up and forward, and they tried to. Then I tried, why not bass guitar? That was too noisy as well. It was just like, so we then Metallica and stuff like Queensryche, stuff like that. So yeah, immediately got my attention towards the guitar. Started from there on as a young kid, and so immediately got the bands from the '80s, and I loved, the way they combine melody and structure and very nice, clean playing that got me hooked. So, and well, perhaps I haven't evolved over the last 3 decades or so, but that's still the kind of music I adore and love and like the most. Although there are very good new bands and very good bands and different new styles that I really appreciate. But that's really where my heart is at, back to the '80s and stuff like that. And yeah, that's just who I am. And my favorite guitar players are players from the '80s. Still to date, I'm Gary Moore, Brian May,
Oh, yeah.
Rick Emmett. Um, Beautiful, great players. Steve Lukather from Toto
Oh,
is
yes.
one of my all-time favorites. Chris Oliver from Savatage. I grew up with the guy. I mean, those are actually the players I adore and listen to still to date. I mean, there are a bunch of fantastic guitar players nowadays. Um, but for some reason, I tend to go back to the old days and look at my old heroes. But hey, that's my perspective. I mean, nothing bad to the new players, man. There are a lot of them. There are a lot of great new players. So that's great for music in general, I think.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's just something special about the 80s music. It's just timeless, so many classics from that period.
Exactly, exactly. And I I was fortunate, to at least have half of them really, you know, see it happen. It's like not. I talked a lot to younger people, obviously, and they enjoy the old stuff as well as much as I do. Uh, but unfortunately, they didn't have the chance to see it or see it back then. When it actually was born at the time. So it was a different time, a different perspective. There was no internet. There was no stuff like that. Only thing you could get music to know was to buy it or to trade it or to read about it in a magazine. Nowadays, it's thankfully in a way become much more accessible for everyone around the world to get to know music, and that's a good thing. I mean, uh, I've spent a lot of money as well buying things that I thought, hell, what did I buy right now? Sounds like crap. I mean, you know what I mean? Well,
Yeah,
that's also two sides of the story. I mean, in a way, the 80s back then were more vibrant, more, more energy, like we talked about, because it's all brand new. But nowadays, it's much more easy and safe, to find out things.
exactly. What would you say is your favorite guitar solo, like ever?
Oh, that's hell. That's. I really love Steve Lukather's solo on the song Rosanna
Yes, that's
from Total Four. That's a classic. Um, but if I had to look at it as a twin melody guitar solos, two guitar players that is the part in Hotel California by the Eagles,
that's a good one too.
1976. That's amazing. Back at the time, it really, really, and it strikes me even now when I hear it on the radio. It's like I listen to the melody and to the parts. It's like, although it's not metal, has nothing to do with metal and stuff like that. It's so beautiful. It's all about craftsmanship, about melody, about you know um, tone and style and uh, yeah, it's all about quality.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a good word to put it. Yeah, just listening to music, like classic rock music, like you said, there's so much craftsmanship into it, and you can tell they put so much thought and time into creating this music. It's like when you listen
Yes,
to it, you're like, oh my gosh, how did they come up with this? It's like a masterpiece.
it is. It is. Times have changed, obviously, and we live in a society right now where everything is going gone. I mean, it's like snap, and it's and there's another one, and well, in the 70s, late 70s and early 80s, people were very much more paying attention to detail because they had the time to work on detail. And if you listen to those classic rock albums from the 70s, like or 80s, like Triumph and Rush and Iron Maiden and the first albums, and you can hear they have been working on that for maybe for months. They were in studios for months and months and creating and writing in studios. While as now we all work at home. We all have our home recording studios, which is great. Very convenient. You can take all the time you need. There's no stress, no limits. But for some reason, you lack some creativity, but not being together all the time. Times have changed. I mean, I don't know too many bands right now who work like in the old days. I mean, bands come together and they rehearse for like 10 hours a day. Excuse me, and then it just doesn't happen anymore. I mean, we all live our separate lives, and we have so much to do in 24 hours, and it's like we're in a rat race. And I think that's what we've become, total society. We want to watch a movie, we're gonna go to the gym, we're gonna have to work, we're gonna put our kids to, I don't know. I mean, it's like, we have to watch tele for a couple of hours, being on social media because it's very important, and stuff like that. I mean, our lives have improved significantly in some manners, but going back, it would be great, to just spend 4 times a week in rehearsal room and play like from 5 to 10 in the evening. So that would be great, going back to those days too, again.
When things were a little bit more simpler.
In a way, yeah. I mean, it's much more simpler now to create things and to send things and to work on things. It goes way faster right now, but down the line, I mean, you're gonna miss some parts. You're gonna miss some extras where, as you were working like for weeks on the same line or song, you would add new things. Well, now, since you're in the rat race and start sending things over and forward again, it's just not going to happen because you're already working on another thing, because technology has brought us so far that everything goes really fast and easy.
Yeah.
So in that perspective, going back and having the time to do things over and over and over again, it might add something extra again.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And how do you go about writing your songs on guitar? Do you have like a special way you like to do it, or is it different each time?
It's kind of different. It all depends on what goes on in the head. I mean, Tom and I write about between 90 and 95% of the total. Either way, individually or together, we combine, stuff you write. And every once in a while, Stripe drops in, because he has new bass line or something, which is really cool. So he adds to the music, and that's fun. He's the other 5 to 10% of Thorium sound in writing. But most of the time, it starts either way by playing in studio and writing down some riffs, or at least for me, I write from the melody part where I have this vocal melodies in my head, and I start singing them, and then start writing music around the vocal melodies. It's one way or another. I mean, there's no one fixed way where I write music. So it all has to do with melodies and right place, right time.
Nice. No, I'm a big fan of melodic rock music, so you're responsible for
That's
the melodicness of the songs.
well, let's say me and Tom, we do basically most of the pre-productional stuff, and the productional stuff is Tom's work, the technical thing. Whereas as I come in, it's like indeed the melodic parts and hooks and melodies and vocal arrangements and stuff like that, and backing vocals and extras. And for instance, in Where Do We Go, there's near the end, there's this like pretty Queen-esque backing vocal line that's coming in there. So that's fun to create. I mean, it adds to the music while it contributes to the catchiness of the song, and it makes the sound of stand out a little bit next to the other heavy power metal bands who, you know, there are quite a few nowadays. So yeah, I love creating melodic arrangements that take the listener a bit deeper into the music, melody. So they have this instant, yeah, I know where it's going. I like it. It's smooth. It's catchy, and then I hear more complex things and more, which you wouldn't hear at first, but it's all down there. So if you pay enough attention, you listen carefully over and over, you're gonna hear new things all the time.
I love that. And so the new album, Empires in the Sun, it comes out March 5th.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We're
How
very much looking forward.
How would you describe it in like 3 words?
Classic. Fast. Not in creation, it was, but fast. It's a pretty fast album. And melodic.
Oh, very good. That's good. And there's 11 tracks?
There are, let's see, 9, 10, 11, 12 tracks on it. If I'm not mistaken, yeah. But one track consists of 3 parts. So that would be the final track, 1302. And that consists of 3 separate parts that combine, make one bigger story.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
It is. It's about our history, actually. It's about a story back in 1302. That wasn't too hard to guess, obviously. About the Battle of the Golden Spurs. And that was a major battle over here in Flanders, because we Flemish fought against the French, and for once we beat them. So that was a major event, obviously. So that's the whole story between what happens, starting from where the anger and fighting begins to act.
I'm very excited to hear the rest of the album.
Well, I mean, we've recorded it September, October 2019. So
for you, it's old.
It's been on the shelf for quite some time. It's been it's been mixed and mastered in November 2019. So obviously it was set to go in May 2020, but don't have to tell you what happened.
Yeah.
And then was postponed to December. That didn't work out the way we thought it would work out as well. So now it's finally postponed for the third time to March, and that's the actual release. So it's finally out in the open in like 40 days or something. And we're really excited. We would love to go on tour immediately, but it's not gonna happen right away as well. So bummer.
Yeah, unfortunately. Hopefully by the end of this year, music can happen again.
We actually have we look forward to starting touring in September. Uh, would see us go on the road in September throughout November, I think, and 2022 as well, obviously, because we have full 22 to promote the album. I'm expecting the Thorium 3 album somewhere late 22, early 23 to hit the stores. So most songs are written for Thorium 3, but hey, we with Thorium 2 in order to promote that album.
I'm hoping, I'm feeling optimistic that this year will be a good year, so.
Well, let's hope so. It can be much worse than 2020. So
exactly.
So from that perspective, I think 21 would be a great year. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Dario, I really appreciate your time. It's been a blast chatting with you.
Thank you very much for your time and for having us. We're very thrilled, to play music, but we're eagerly thrilled, finding out that people, like and love what we do. I mean, obviously we create and write music because we like to create and writing music, but if there are no fans or reviewers or critics to listen to them and comment on them, whether they like it or dislike it, there's no meaning to it. You know what I mean? And it's thanks to people like you who spread the word and the music that we are able, to reach out to possibly new fans and new people who like listening to what we do. So thank you for that, Jen.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah. When I come across a band that's making great rock music, I just have to share it with people.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, I'm wishing you guys the best in this new year, and hopefully we'll chat again soon.
Well, anytime. Thanks very much.